Blue Eyes has always been one of the most important and highly regarded Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the game's history. And while it hasn't always been the greatest deck, it has had the opportunity to scale to world champion level status multiple times, thanks to Konami buffing the deck. Between its favorite child status in both the community and Konami's eyes, Blue Eyes and its corresponding cards have always carried a relatively high price tag, especially for the higher rarity cards. However, with the release of the new structure deck, Blue Eyes has been cheaper and more affordable than ever before. While people like Team Sam try to build the most expensive version of the deck possible, today I want to do the opposite. Today I'm going to be showcasing a Blue Eyes variant that can keep up in the modern game without going over a single $10 billing cost, including the average US sales tax. So without further ado, here's my deck list. So Blue Eyes, did you ever think Blue Eyes was going to get to be just $10? I mean, with Alternative back in the day going for like 10-ish to 20 a copy, who would have thought we would have gotten here? But we have. So let's start with the monsters. In this build, we play 3 copies of Blue Eyes, specifically this art because it's the cheapest from the set. 1 copy of Jet Dragon, since it is still a really good card that can recur itself and also protect yourself when your cards are destroyed. Then I play 1 copy of Dragon Spirit of White, since it's a very good card to use off of something like Ancient and banish an opponent's spell. I also play 1 copy of Abyss Dragon, since we do play the Chaos Max duo. Then I play 3 copies of Ultra Rare Maiden, just because it's the new best starter in this deck outside of Sage, which I also play 3 copies of because it can normal summon, search Maiden, and then go full True Light combo. I also play 1 copy of Master, 1 copy of Ancients, and 1 copy of Legend. Those are all of the level 1 light tuners we play, but I also play 3 copies of Neo Kaiser Seahorse, since it can level manipulate and get out a permanent copy of Ultimate Spirit Dragon. I also play 1 copy of Dictator, 3 copies of Veiler, and 3 copies of the common Nib from the structure deck. The only thing is I don't know where 2 of my copies went, and it's kind of embarrassing that I can't find them, so for now I'm just using the 2 proxies in this deck. I also play 1 copy of Chaos Max and 1 copy of Chaos Dragon. That's it for the monsters, now on to the spell and traps. Spells, I play probably exactly what you're thinking. I play 3 copy of Ultra Rare Wishes, 2 copies of Super Rare Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, 1 copy of Mausoleum, 1 Ultimate Fusion, 1 Chaos Form, 1 Burst Stream in case you want to search it off Mausoleum, and 1 copy of Called By, since it's really cheap in the structure deck. I also play 1 copy of True Light, 1 copy of Majesty, and 1 copy of Ultimate Creature. The reason I play these 2 cards is because you can just set them for free off of True Light. I think this is a pretty standard lineup. It doesn't change too much from the normal Blue Eyes besides maybe the Primite cards and the Crimson Dragon cards. But that's it for the spell and traps. Let's move on to the extra deck. Extra deck, I play 2 copies of Spirit because it is a very good card to have, and it's nice to have one just in case your opponent negates the first one or prevents you from summoning the first one. I also play 1 copy of Heraldic Seal, 1 copy of Azure for Blue Eyes Recursion, 3 copies of Spirit Dragon, since it'll give you access to any synchro you want that you may not meet the summoning conditions for. I also play 3 copies of Ultra Rare Spirit Dragon. This is another card where I'm a little embarrassed I cannot find the other 2 copies of, and I didn't want to use any of the secret rares I have, since this is the $10 version and the secret rare would probably push it to 11. So to keep true to that $10 limit, 3 copies of Ultra Rare and 2 proxies in my case. For the fusion monsters, I play 1 copy of Tyrant Dragon, 1 copy of Twin Burst, 1 copy of Neo Ultimate, and then 1 copy of the fusion of your choice. I would probably suggest either Tyrant Dragon, since it's the easiest to get out, or Twin Burst, since it's the second easiest. But it's really up to you what you want your extra fusion monster to be. I just wouldn't recommend playing the normal Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, since your Neo Ultimate Dragon has an additional effect to send a Blue Eyes fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard to attack again. And then I play 1 copy of Indigo Eyes because it's not the greatest card, but it does help with a little bit of recursion, so 1 copy of Indigo. That's it for the extra deck. Let's do a test hand. 1 card combo is pretty much the same as it is normally. It's normal summon Sage, use its effect to search for a copy of Maiden, activate Maiden, use its effect to get out a copy of True Light. Use Sage to go into Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and then search Mausoleum. Activate Mausoleum and use its effect to send Blue Eyes from deck to grave. Then you attribute Spirit, summon back Blue Eyes and the Maiden. Then you would use True Light's effect to set a copy of Wishes, and then as long as you had a discard, so we'll just pretend Veilers are a discard, search out a copy of Master and Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. Then you would normal summon Master, and just to be fair, we'll say you target Sage and add it back to hand. Then we'll use these two as material for Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Then we'll use Master's effect to target Maiden and tribute her to summon out Blue Eyes. Maiden will then activate, summoning back Master, and then Master will summon out Blue Eyes. You can then use Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons to summon out a copy of Abyss Dragon, and use these two as material for another Synchro monster. Then during the end phase, you could use Abyss Dragon's effect to add a copy of Jet Dragon from deck to hand, which will give you just an extra layer of protection. Then on your opponent's turn, you can negate 2 graveyard effects. Neither player can summon 2 or more cards at the same time, and you can use each of them to tag out for a copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, giving you an Omni negate, and then Spirit Dragon to summon out Silver Dragon, and then protect all your monsters. And then you could also summon out Jet Dragon when your opponent destroys one of your cards. It's very important to summon out Azor as well though, because it'll protect your monsters should True Light be destroyed, since this card protects from card effect destruction, and True Light destroys your monsters, not sends them. That's it for the 1-card combo. Now let's move on to a test hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the greatest shuffling on my part. This is Nibiru, just in case you forgot. So we'll go Wishes on Wishes and use it to search a copy of Sage. And what would we normally grab off of Wishes? Probably Roar. Yeah, we'll grab a copy of Roar. Then we'll normal summon Sage, use its effect to search for Maiden, activate Maiden to get out a copy of True Light. Then we'll use Sage as link material for Spirit, and we'll use Spirit to search for our field spell, Mausoleum of Whites. Then we'll activate Mausoleum, use its effect to send a Blue Eyes from deck to grave, and then use Spirit to summon out the Blue Eyes, and Maiden will follow suit, summoning herself from the grave. Then we'll activate Roar and use its effect to summon out another Blue Eyes monster. We will use Roar to search out a copy of Blue Eyes. Then we'll special summon Neo-Kaiser Seahorse. Then we'll use Blue Eyes and Maiden to get out a copy of Spirit Dragon. We'll then use Blue Eyes and Neo-Kaiser as material for a copy of Heraldic Seal, so we can get out whatever monster we need. And then we'll use Neo-Kaiser's effect to send Blue Eyes from deck to grave. At this point, I would probably use True Light to set a copy of Ultimate Fusion, and then on the opponent's turn, activate it to shuffle back the 3 Blue Eyes and summon out a copy of Neo Ultimate Dragon. That's just one option you could do. And then you could also tribute Heraldic Seal to summon out a copy of Dragon Spirit of White, banish an opponent's card. You could also use True Light again to set a copy of, since we have no Blue Eyes in grave, it might be worth going for something like Ultimate Creature, and then using Spirit Dragon to tag out for the one and only Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Now I'm going to pass it off to the editor. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more videos like this, make sure to check out my playlist here where you can see informative and entertaining videos about Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, or both. Or, if you're interested in more serious videos like deck profiles and new card announcements, make sure to check out my playlist here. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.